Welcome to the Intellectual Army. I'm the serial intellectual. I create intellectual products that transform people and change the world. I'm the author of 10 books, recently released Metamorphic Dictus and BU, along with 6 original personal development tools designed specifically to help you in your journey towards personal development. You can find all those on my website, serialintellectual.com. I got 20 years of organizational experience, along with personal development and leadership development experience. And today I want to talk to you about something that's riddled in all of that stuff in my life and your life, an inescapable reality. And this is what it is: risk. Risk. Right now, you're taking a risk. You're watching this. I'm doing this. We're both risking. It's a risk. It might be boring. It might be great. You don't know. It could lead to something. We don't know. Risk. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, is this another square jarhead who's on the internet proclaiming to be something when he's nothing, and he doesn't really have anything to show for it? Well, not so much. Not so fast. Not so fast. All right, so check it out. I've done some risky things. Skydiving. Now, the thing about this photo is that, like, I'm deathly afraid of heights. Like, I live on the second floor. When I'm walking up the stairs, when I look out my window, I get a little, and don't talk about up in elevators. Like, I don't like heights. You said, well, why in the world would you jump out of an airplane? Because I'm in a place in my life where I'm going to walk towards the things that scare me, not away from them. Been running for too long. I haven't seen a lot of benefit from running away. I'm going towards it. And in case that doesn't convince you that I don't have a problem with risk taking, let me show you something else. I did this. It's my second favorite animal in the world, the tiger, 400 pounds. And yeah, I'm behind and he's being enticed by meat, but better a little chicken than me, the serial intellectual, who wouldn't be here. Except that you go, why would you do that? Because I love them. There's only one other animal that I really want to be around in its wild. That's the orca, the ultimate animal. Love killer whales. And in case that doesn't convince you that I'm a risk taker, let me share one more photo with you. Okay? This let you know that I'm a risk taker. This is me finishing the Ironman. The Ironman is an event where you swim 2.4 miles, then you bike 112 miles, and then you run 26 miles. It took me over 16 hours to do it. It took me well over a year, training 15 hours a week. And when the Ironman was launched in 2021, it was in Chesapeake Bay in Maryland. It was full of jellyfish. And yes, I got stung. Many people got stung. Saw people falling out, going to the hospital, fainting. I swore I was almost going to quit at mile 63 on the bike. I've done some risky things. I moved from Los Angeles to Baltimore to start churches. I mean, I've done some risky things. And you've probably done some risky things too. But here's the point. It's not about what we've done. It's about thinking about risk in a different way. Now, look, risk is an unavoidable reality. You ever thought about it that way? See, we think about risk like, well, I'm going to risk this. No, you're risking. You're always risking. Like, what is risk? Basically, risk is the being exposed to potential danger. That's what risk is. If risk is being exposed to potential danger, then theoretically and really, you're always risking. It's just a matter of what you're risking. Well, I wouldn't do that. That's just so risky. Well, what you're doing is risky. And listen to this. Everything that's worth something is risky. As a matter of fact, if you really think about this from a contrarian and opposite view of risk, everything that we value has an enormous amount of risk, either in it or to create it. I mean, we kind of, sort of take it for granted that babies are coming in the world every day, but it's very risky. It really is. A risk is all over the place. It's an inescapable reality for everybody. And everywhere you look throughout history, you saw risk. And the things that have impacted us the most as humanity, The things that have done the most good, accompanied by the most risk. You can't find one sociological movement that did any good that didn't come with great risk. You can't find any sociological advancements that wasn't accompanied by great risk. I mean, the things we're enjoying right now, you're on some type of electronic device that someone took a risk with, probably failed a ton, lost millions of dollars, and finally made it. It was a huge risk at the time. We look at these things like, oh, it's nothing. Back then, this was a really big deal. And now it's nothing because someone took the risk. Risk is an inescapable reality. It's all over the place. And it's rooted and grounded in everything. And let me tell you something. You know what I find is sometimes we have things in our life, including religion, that we use to mitigate our risk, but really, religion in and of itself is risky. Matter of fact, the most devoted religious people that I know and you know, they they have imbibed a religion of risk. Their religion has all kind of risk in it. Their religion does. Now they may not be reflecting that, but it is. So there's no need to try to go run to God and hide because God's risky. There's crazy things. And he asks his people to do crazy things. It's like we're always trying to run from that which is an inescapable reality. And here's the point. We can be infected with safety to the point to where we won't do something unless we think it's safe. And you know what happens when you don't do something? If you don't think it's safe, you don't do something. Just imagine if someone like, I don't know, like Martin Luther King said, you know what, it's not very safe. Just imagine. Imagine some of the things we currently enjoy, medicines, practices. I mean, anything you can think of. And someone says, well, there's risk, there's financial risk, there's shareholder risk, there's all these kind of risk. So we don't want to take the risk. We applaud people who take risks. We're I'm so glad you took the risk. But what about you and me? What about us? What are we afraid of? You realize that by not doing something, you're taking a risk, the risk of not doing it. And whatever that will bring, it's a tremendous, tremendous risk. It's interesting because young people tend to take greater risks than older people. I said tend. Why is that? I think it's because as we get older, we feel like we have more to lose. And in some sense, we do. If we want to be honest. Some of us have wives and husbands and kids and jobs, and we got to be careful. But sometimes I've wondered about myself and about our culture, about our nations, about this world, if one of the reasons why we're so stuck and why we haven't seen so much advancement like we should is because we're all kind of playing it safe, even on things that really couldn't even hurt us. Like some of you want to start a business. Why haven't you tried it? Well, I might lose money. And well, someone's not going to listen to me. And it's risk. And there's a risk to not doing it. And so I think we should grow more comfortable with risk. And I think the way to get more comfortable with risk is by doing risky things. I don't know another way. It's by doing risky things. So, what is it in your life right now that you want to do, but you've basically said to yourself, it's too risky? Risk is always about loss. But if you don't take the risk, you do avoid the loss, but you also potentially incur another loss, which is the loss that comes with not taking the risk. Some contrarian views on risk. It's an unavoidable, inescapable reality. Peace.